Festival of the Lost is back, and every year we get 3 brand new armor sets for you to purchase, and every year I get these same questions. What about the older armor? Are any of those worth buying? I do have reviews on all of those older sets, but I wanted to make a video that answers a lot of the questions that I normally get, and one that compares all of these armor sets directly to each other. So we're breaking out the tier list again to do just that. These will be ranked based on how often I see the armor both in-game and on social platforms like Twitter, Instagram, or Reddit. These will not be ranked based on your own personal taste, because that's impossible and dumb. We're all different. But if you do disagree with any of these rankings, go ahead and leave me a comment down below and tell me why. And I'm also curious, which of these Festival of the Lost sets is your favorite? Also, I'm going to group these up by year instead of doing each set individually. That would be a very long video if I did do that. So instead, I'll point out any standout sets or armor pieces when necessary. We're gonna kick things off with the original Festival of the Lost armor, the Lustrous Chromite, the Scaran Corvus, and the Liminal Voyager armor. Since these were released so long ago, I didn't remember what people thought about these sets when they first released. So I went through Reddit and Twitter, and I found a few comments saying that they liked the Hunter set, and one comment saying that they wanted to use the Warlock armor to make a vampire, and nothing about the Titan. Fast forward to present day, and well, these didn't age well either. In my 4-ish years of doing Destiny fashion, I have barely seen anyone using any of the Titan and the Warlock armor. Now the Hunter set, that is an exception because there are hundreds of posts on Reddit and lots of comments within my post asking the same question. What cloak is that? A lot of new players don't recognize the set, but they do like the cloak, and I've also seen some solid fashion made with that mask. The rest of the set is a bit forgettable, but not terrible. Its main downside is a lot of the set has pieces that don't shade well. If I was judging just the Hunter set alone, I would have maybe thrown it in A or B tier, but the other 2 sets drag this down all the way to C tier because they are hardly used. Honestly, without the Hunter set, these would have gone down to D tier. I do not recommend that you waste your money on the Titan or the Warlock, but the Hunter is a solid pick if you're into that edgy look, which most Hunters are. Year 2 of Festival of the Lost gave us this thing. Bro, what was Bungie thinking? Honestly, these were downright insulting. Easy D tier. They legit expected us to pay real money for blue rarity armor that had a spooky coat of paint on it, and it doesn't even shade. Have you guys ever seen Ed, and Eddie, where all they do is scam people by using they just found laying around? That's what Bungie did here. Admittedly, the glow is a cool concept, but it was just executed very poorly, and I vaguely remember 2 really cool Warlock sets I posted using this armor, but just because a few people pulled it off once or twice doesn't make it a good set. Not to mention, it doesn't match anything else. It's near impossible to work with and possibly one of the worst ever sets in the game. Please don't waste your money on this. Even I don't own it. Year 3 of the festival was the exact opposite of year 2. These are possibly the best Festival of the Lost sets to date. These can easily go into A tier. I talked about this way back in my review video for the sets, but I still consider the Warlock and the Hunter sets as a must-have for anyone. And these have only gotten better with age. The Warlock robes are widely considered to be one of the best robes in the game, and the fur armor pieces on the Hunter make for some excellent medieval fashion. The sets shade well and are easy to mix and match with, and 2 of them have fur. What else could you ask for? I will say that the Titan set is the worst one of the 3, and is the reason that this year didn't get an S tier rating. It's not terrible, but some pieces are a bit too stylized and don't always play nice with other sets. That being said, I do occasionally see the mark and the legs used in some pretty sweet fashion. This was an overall great year. All of the sets are usable, but I would skip out on the Titan. And if you're a Warlock or a Hunter main, go get this armor. Do you smell that? That's the smell of controversy. This is the year that Bungie let us vote for the armor for the very first time. Dinos versus monsters, and Dinos won. I believe that these sets belong in B tier. None of them are standout armor sets that I think you should really be in a rush to go and get, but there are some very usable pieces in here. I don't like the Titan armor as a whole, but the chest armor is really good. I've seen a lot of great fashion using that piece, like the Doomslayer I made. But do I think it's worth buying the whole set just for the chest? No, not really. If you just had to have one of these sets, I would recommend the Hunter the most. I see this set used all the time, but not by fashion snobs like you and me, but by casual players. I'm telling you, I see this almost every other Crucible match that I play. How do I know they're casuals though? Well, the thing is, the people that I see using the set tend to use like 3 pieces of the same set or more, and I don't want you to take that as an insult to the armor or to the people that use it. For example, a lot of people use the Exile sets from Trials, and that's mostly because it's a testament to how good they are as a full set. It's overused for a reason. As for the Warlock set, I recommended it back in my original review, and I still really like the set myself, but sadly I didn't see wide adoption of it. I do know people like the bond and the robes, but I don't see those pieces used enough to recommend it at this time. Trust your gut on these. If you really want them, you won't be disappointed, but if you're on the fence, I won't try to convince you either way. That's why they fall right in the middle of these rankings. We've now made it to the most controversial set, the Gundam armor. This set is impossible to rank. Some people would put this in A tier, other people would put it in B tier. I'm going to throw this into B tier. I think my review video I made on these still holds up well. If you grew up watching Gundam, Power Rangers, or Evangelion, you're going to love the Titan set a lot, and it's really easy to make a set with that armor. I will add that for the most part, all of the good sets with this armor have already been made, and I don't see too many new fashion using this armor that surprises me. As for the Warlock, I've seen tons of great cosplays with this, from Dragon Ball Z all the way to Batman. I think if you're a creative person, you'll have so much fun with this set, but if you struggle to make your own designs, this set may not be for you. The Hunter set, yeah, nothing has changed. I was hoping to be wrong on this, but I never really see people making anything good with it. Sure, there have been some standouts, but not enough for me to say, yeah, go spend your money. So just like the Dino armor, trust your gut. You know yourself better than I do. If you want the Titan or the Warlock, go for it. If you hate the armor, I'm not going to try to persuade you. Now, technically, we still do have one more set to rank, but today's video is really only about the older sets, not the new one. We still have to see what people end up making with the bug armor. But I will let you know, my first impressions are pretty good. I can't wait to get my hands on this armor. And if I absolutely did have to rank this right now, based on just looking at this picture, I think I would throw these up in A tier. But now I'll pass the question off to you. Where do you think the new set should rank? What did you think about my tier list? Would you change anything about it? Let me know in the comments below. Go ahead and subscribe and like this video on your way out, because I have more videos coming as early as today. I'm going to do another video showing you all of these shaders in my inventory, on the new sets because for some reason Bungie still doesn't let us preview them. And a couple of days after that, I'm going to be releasing a review video on the new armor. I'm going to show you what people made. I'm going to show you what I'm making. It's going to be a good time. And a big shout out goes to all of my Patreon members, because without you guys I would not be able to keep buying all of these Eververse armors to then go ahead and turn into reviews. I'll see all of you guys real soon, but if you want to watch another video in the meantime, check out my other tier list videos like this one I made on these seasonal ornaments. And as always, stay beautiful.